for Greatness podcast.
What is up, people? Welcome to the Hunt for Greatness podcast. I'm stoked to be back. I got my man Eric Williams. Eric Williams, what's up, brother?
What's up, man?
How are you, dude?
I'm doing good.
You looking good?
Thank you.
Feel like you've been eating clean, working out?
I've been trying, man. It's a struggle of my life.
I'm getting thick, boy. Good gracious. I gotta tone down the breads a little bit.
That's my favorite, man. You throw some spaghetti sauce on it, and I'll destroy it.
I love pastas, breads, anything fried, all the bad stuff. That's what I like.
Yeah. Same, man. I've been trying to incorporate more turkey.
And,
chicken, and just trying to keep 40 off.
I don't mind ground turkey as much.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it's okay. But, you know, as far as the birds go, I like ribeyes.
No, yeah, that's the best bird there
is. As far as birds go, I like ribeyes.
Yep, me too, man.
So I hit Eric up, guys, and I was like, hey, oh, by the way, check Eric's YouTube out. Eric Williams Fishing, right, Eric?
Yeah.
Eric Williams. I know if you type in Eric Williams Fishing, his page comes up because that's how I search you. E. Williams Realty on Instagram. If you guys need to sell your house,
hit me up.
Hit Eric up.
Yeah, all my contact information is blasted all over everything.
Everything.
So, yeah, just I'm also doing a giveaway on my channel.
Oh, yeah?
On Friday.
All right, well, this will drop, what's today, Monday? I'll drop it Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'll drop this Wednesday.
If you guys are not on my channel, I'm giving away a Shimano Nassie, which is like a $100 reel.
They're sweet, too.
Yeah, and I have a Jawbreaker jig package, just like 10 or 15 jigs, which is like, I mean, if you had to buy it, $60, $70. And then also what Travis at 432 Fishing calls them the manic mullet. And honestly, I would love to just keep that and just pretend like I'm not giving that away.
What is it?
It's just the jig heads. They're sick.
Oh, the ones he made.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get him to send me a care package. He ain't sent me one yet, Travis.
Yeah. So, about $225, $250 worth of stuff.
Yeah.
Just as a thank you.
Oh, that's killer, dude.
Yeah.
I know it makes me want to enter, but I can't do that.
I mean, if you win, I ain't cheating. So it's a fair and square kind of draw.
Man, I know that's a killer package because those Nassies, I'm gonna end up using those for charters. I'm gonna end up getting 4 of those and then 4 star rods like you have. I just think you and Roger's setups are sick, and it's $200.
You can't beat that Nassie for $100.
You can't beat it, and I've heard nothing but good stuff about it.
Yeah, it fishes just like my $250 reels, and I don't feel bad about trashing a little bit. Not that I'm going to, but I'm not concerned about breaking the bank on that reel.
Yeah,
So
I think that's a good giveaway, you guys. 2,000 subscribers?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man. And it's going to be 3 winners, so I don't want everybody to think it's just one person winning.
Oh, so one person wins the reel.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to do it in order, too, because there's like rules in the giveaway. So, for example, if you don't follow the rules and you get drawn, if you didn't do what you're supposed to do, then the next person that gets drawn is going to get to choose first.
Yeah.
So I'll let people choose accordingly.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you guys go into the contest. It's in 2 days because today is Monday. I'm dropping this. You guys will see this on Wednesday. And the contest drawing is Friday.
Yeah,
so
man.
go over to Eric's page, subscribe to his channel, and we're going to talk about surf fishing today.
Yep.
Because we're both experts. Me and Eric, we've been surf fishing about a couple years now.
Yeah.
Kind of really getting after it. And we're just going to talk about what we've learned in those 2 years. And I was talking to Eric earlier. I was like, we're pretty much experts, dude. We've been doing it for 2 years. And you brought up a good point. It's like, well, all we really have to share is the experience that we've gained from going out there and not catching fish or going out there and catching fish. So what do you think the most important thing that you've learned this year from going out there and either catching or not catching fish in the surf?
Clean water.
What do you mean?
If it looks like coffee, with milk and cream, then if it looks like chocolate milk, I don't usually catch fish.
So turn around and go home.
Well, I maybe try a different area. If it depends on the tide, really. If it's a falling tide, you're probably going to have dirtier water. But if it's a rising tide, your opportunity for finding some clean water somewhere is going to be better.
True.
So if you're like mid-beach and you've got an inlet a few miles down, maybe go down near the inlet where that clean water is going to be pushing in. That's just, I would say the clean water is number one, what I would look for. Or I get excited about when I get there. Because a lot of times I'm fishing either way. But if I see that there's clean water, I'm excited.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of Virginia mullet are in that dirtier water. It seems like they're still there hanging around. But it seems like the pompano, not as much as far as when you're going to surf or when you're going to fish clean or dirty water. I know when we go with Elias, he puts a lot of emphasis on whether the water's dirty or clean. And he does a pretty good job predicting that, according to the wind and tide, I guess, is what.
Yeah, we almost need a few days of low wind to like clean it up, and another thing is your wave action. If you've got 3-4 foot waves, you're gonna have problems keeping everything down. So
it's hard to fish it.
Yeah, I mean you can, but you're gonna need 4 or 5 ounces, and then are you even gonna see a bite?
It makes me think that when you have to put that many ounces on a rig, your bait it does something with the bait for me, probably to deter the bite, if that makes sense. Like it's not naturally going with the water. It's more of like your weight's trying to pull it down, your water's trying to pull it up or out or to the side, and it just creates a lot of unnatural
turbulence.
Turbulence and the movement. Like unnatural movement when it comes to fishing is like when you're trolling, when you're fishing artificials. If you have any unnatural type of movement, even with cut bait, I feel like it could make a difference. I don't know this for sure, but it could make a difference. It's hard to fish in the wind and the rough seas. It's just harder.
Yeah, to piggyback off of that, what creates that turbulence is the if you get like a strong north wind or a strong south wind, it's going to cause that current to flow up and down the beach. Whereas if you get a strong east wind or a strong west wind, here in Wilmington that is, it's going to be either straight on shore or straight offshore. So that's another factor, is if it's been blowing east at 15 for 3 days and then it switches west, you shouldn't have that bad a current. But if you have a strong north or south in that, then that's going to change things. So that could create your turbulence.
I've never even thought about that.
Yeah. And the only reason I know that's from surfing.
Man, that's crazy. I've never thought about that as long as I've been going out there.
So a lot of times the best swell is related to these storms that pass through. Like, for example, we just had one pass through. So those storms will blow on shore, as they approach and go up the coast. And then as soon as it passes us, that wind, instead of blowing straight on shore, now we're on the back side of it and it'll switch offshore. Well, whatever the way that wind was blowing is going to push that current that way until the opposite wind can clean it back up.
Wow.
So it's a tug and pull from each direction.
Man, that's insane. You think the moons have much to do with that, or not as much?
I feel like they would be more affecting the tide.
Yeah, not the current, more the tide.
Yeah.
What about tide and current? Do you think that could affect one another, or is it going two opposite ways?
I'm not sure. I've never even thought about that. Tide and current. I mean,
we're talking about physics here, guys, and we're also experts on that as well.
If you have a strong tide, like a strong moon phase that would push and pull, it would make sense that at a lower tide it would be a stronger current.
Right.
Because it's more water pulling out of the bay systems and out of the inlets. Now, as far as pushing up, I don't know if that would create as much flood.
Yeah. We'll keep it basic because me and you are, so let's bring it back. So when you're about to go surf fishing, I'm going to turn this air conditioner off, hold on.
We don't need it.
When you're about to go surf fishing, what are some essentials that you bring? I know you have a cart now, which is very helpful to be able, you can bring more stuff, but some people don't have carts like myself. So what are some essentials that you're looking to bring? And what's some things that you may leave at the house and you're like, I don't really need that?
Well, I want to start by saying I get comments like, where were you? Where did you catch those fish? Like, what beach is that? All I see is North Connecticutans everywhere, a bunch of kids. I'm about to hook. You need to go early. Okay, that's when you need to be out there. When the sun comes up, you need to be on the beach or in the parking lot. Okay, that's
step one. Out on the beach.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Definitely.
Like, you got to beat these kids, man, because the kids ain't thinking about you and where you're trying to cast. That's my number one, is just go early. And the next thing I did, like Lex said, I did just get a cart, but some kind of cooler bag. You have one.
Yeah. Elias
has one. I have one. Something that you can be mobile and also throw your gear in it if you need to, so that you can just, you catch a fish, you can stake claim right there.
Yeah.
Rods are important too. You need to have something a little longer. Most of my surf rods are in the 8, 9 to 10 foot. And I don't think that matters as far as like to catch a fish, but what you're trying to do is get out there, get your distance.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, well, yeah, sometimes. And get out of the wave action.
Yeah.
That's number one. So, longer rods, a nice cooler bag. And then, I think we all do this, but try to be as minimal as possible.
Yeah.
Don't take a bunch of stuff you don't think you're going to need. So.
Yeah, I have a special tackle box just for surf.
Mm-hmm.
It's right there. It's a little lunchbox, Plano. It's about the size of a lunchbox. It has 2 plastic cases in there, and one of them I barely use anything out of, so I could almost probably go more minimal than that. So I think it's important to be mobile, like you're saying, especially if you don't have a cart. I mean, I think 3 rods for me, I know you put more than 3 out most of the time, but 3 rods out for me is about all I can handle and keep my baits right on, so finding that sweet spot where you feel comfortable, like making sure you're not wasting time out, like with a rod, wasting time out there. If I get 4, it's like by the time I get to 10 in my 4th one, my first one probably needs some attention. I mean, time maintenance, we can talk some about that maybe. Like, how long are you staying in a spot before you move? Like, if you haven't gotten many bites, or if are you just catching trash fish, or when do you decide to move spots on the surf?
I think it depends on what you're targeting. For example, the past few videos we've made, we've been targeting pompano, so we're sitting in one spot. We're picking a spot and staying there.
Pretty much, yeah. For the most
but
part.
if you wanted to, say it's high tide and you want to travel the beach, hit the different areas where it's starting to rip out, or the deeper trough areas. I mean, you can make 4 or 5 casts and just keep slowly walking. I think it really depends on what you're trying to do.
Like covering ground, make a decision. Do you want to cover ground? Do you want to post up?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you're covering ground, you might not need more than 1 rod. Like, you might take 1 rod out, cast, walk, have your cooler bag on your back. I've done it before. And just cast, and walk, and cover as much ground as you can. Or you might have a good spot where you're like, I know this spot is good. When the tide starts to turn to go out, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wait it out. So I guess it could go both ways.
And the fish you're targeting is important too,
Yeah.
because like say it's the fall and the mullet are running down the beach. You're going to have Spanish in the surf. You're going to have false albacore. The big drum, they run through here at some point. They pass through here and go down go up to the Chesapeake, into the Pamlico Sound. So really the type of fish matters too, because if you're throwing a gold spoon, you're not going to be catching sea mullet in the surf with that.
Yeah.
So you really have to kind of decide before you go what you're going to do.
Yeah. You think it's important to maybe follow the peers on Instagram or Facebook and see what they're catching, because that can reflect sometimes, most of the time, what we're going to see in the surf.
Yeah, a little tip, I follow everything.
I follow every peer.
Every person too.
Yeah.
If you're a guide in Wilmington,
I do too.
I pay attention to what y'all are doing.
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all.
Yeah,
because y'all are the fishing report.
Yeah, we e-scout.
I do it,
Well,
for
I
sure.
do too,
Yeah.
100%.
I'm watching everybody. I'm seeing, okay, this guy fishes here, this guy fishes up here.
Catching cobias on the pier right now. You've been seeing that?
I have, yeah, the small
Man,
ones.
let that ocean lay down a little bit. I'm going to go hunt.
Yep, I'm ready when you are.
I've been had a little bit of luck with the cobia, so we'll see.
Yeah, I think you should follow the peers.
Yeah.
Because that's going to give you a fair idea of what is in the vicinity. Again, I'm not going to base my day off of a pier, but at the same time, if I see that Carolina Beach is catching pompano, but nothing's happening in topsail, I would probably focus more towards Carolina Beach.
Yeah. It's helpful. Mm-hmm. And people don't realize that.
Yeah.
But it's very helpful to watch and follow everybody.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, you send me stuff all the time. Mm-hmm. You're like, hey man, did you see this? Did you see this 35-pound striper that was caught off Surf City Pier or something like that?
Yeah,
I'm like, good gracious. I would have never seen it if you hadn't sent it to me. I would have totally missed it. So
I follow everybody up to the up to Chesapeake.
So yeah, you have probably mostly fishing when you open your Instagram, don't you?
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. That's all I watch.
Yeah.
I I love it.
Yeah.
You know, I see other people, and I want to replicate it and do it better.
Yeah.
It's just how I got a addictive personality.
Me too.
So I can't help it.
Me too. All right, so picking your spot
Yeah.
in the surf. How you doing that? What you looking for?
One thing I want to start doing more is going at low tide too, because we've been hanging at around the 2 hours before high and 2 hours after.
Yep.
And the difference between low and high is a high tide, you can really fish any of it. You can fish any of the water column because you don't know where the fish are. But at low tide, you only have a small trough of maybe waist high water, and then it's a foot of water on the bar, and you got to get out there 100 yards to even get into the area where it's going to be over your head. But at the same time, those fish are going to pull off in that time period too, so we could catch them then too.
Yeah.
It really matters, I think, more so like when you're there and the water that you're casting into while you're there. And that's the part that I think, you know, we can both agree that we're trying to perfect is we're here at this tide, where are the fish?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the part that I haven't figured out yet completely, and it seems like it's different every day.
So weird. Another good thing at low tide is you can kind of see some of the areas that you might want to fish at high tide.
That's a good point.
So like walking the beach at high tide, there's a lot of things you're not going to see. It's all covered. You know, people like Elias who have X-ray fish vision can see everything. You know, he's like got superpowers. But you know, at low tide, I may drop a pin on my phone like, oh, there's a deeper hole right there. Maybe at high tide, you know, that might be a good spot to fish. Drop a little pin on my phone so I know where it's at, or turn around, find a building or a landmark that I can base my. I think it's important to have landmarks that you can base your spots on so you don't forget exactly where you were. I think it's important to record or remember, which I suck at remembering everything, but when am I catching these fish? Like, when did the bite turn on? You know, what was going on in the weather that day? Like, paying attention to details so you don't waste a whole bunch of time with confidence that you shouldn't even have in the first place because you're out there and you're not doing it how you did last time, even though you think you are. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Sounds kind of crazy the way I just put it, but attention to detail, I guess, is narrowed down that, you know?
I'm getting an idea. We need to fish an entire tide cycle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, and make a video documenting everything that we experienced, what tide, what part of the tide, when did we do this.
Oh, I like that.
And then see how does it affect our day of fishing.
Yeah, go out early, stay till...
all day.
That's a long time.
I mean, I do it duck hunting.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gone sun up to sundown more times than I can count.
Yeah. Bring your sunscreen.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And
But
plenty of snacks.
dude, that's a great, and plenty of GoPro batteries.
Oh, yeah, true.
Because, good gracious, we're going to go through them out there. Because I got probably about 4 hours of life on my GoPro, maybe 5.
Yeah.
But that's cool. That'd be a really good video. Document, like, hey, the bite turned on at this point of the tide. The bite turned off here. We saw this here. The water started looking like this. You know, that'd be a interesting video. Like a 15, 20-minute video edited down.
Yeah. Well, what we've been seeing, you know, because we've fished together like 3 or 4 times in a row, surf fishing. They're usually biting around these tide changes.
Yeah, it does seem like that, doesn't it?
Either right before it stops or right after it starts again.
Huh. Yeah.
And I mean, but then again, we've caught fish an hour after the tide switch, so it's like, I don't think it's something you can nail down. You just gotta be there, and you gotta fish correctly.
And knowing and accepting when you may be catching like an outlier. Like, you caught one pompano an hour after, but the rest of them came, you know, you might have just got an outlier, somebody, you know, a fish that was just so happened to be there.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Well, I feel like they are the outliers because we've been pretty consistent on sea mullet.
Yeah.
They usually hit pretty consecutively around the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But these pompano are more sporadic.
They are. They do seem sporadic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. They do kind of seem like... It does seem like somebody gets a bite around the tide changes almost always.
Yeah.
But you're right. It is kind of random.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know they were that good to eat, dude.
They were great.
Oh, my God.
Me either. I'd had one for the first time this year.
Bruh. I mean, good gracious. Good Lord.
Yeah.
So good. All right, so we covered somewhat of gear. I mean, you want to be minimalistic. You want longer rods in the surf.
Yeah, I don't think reel size matters as much.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, unless you're drum fishing and you need plenty of line for
Yeah.
something that's going to run on you.
Yeah. I mean, maybe at least a 3,000, 4,000.
Yeah, all my stuff is 2,500 to
Oh, is it?
5,000. Yeah.
Okay.
It's random.
Makes sense.
20-pound line, 15 to 25-pound line, and I've noticed that the Braid's easier to fish than the mono is. So
You can definitely see the bite better.
yeah,
I mean, mono stretches. It's hard for me to see a bite on the reel I've got with mono. Difficult.
yeah. I know I made a post on one of the pages, Braid or mono for the surf, and it was pretty consistent that everyone wants to fish Braid.
Yeah.
So
Braid's just better.
yeah, but the argument was that Braid will cut other lines if it gets caught up in it. So
Will cut other braid though?
yeah, that's what
Braid will cut braid?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
But I haven't had any issues with line overlapping.
I think you've been fishing around too many people if you're worried about that, ain't you?
Yeah, well, if a place like the Point in Hatteras.
Dude, they'll cuss you out if you use braid up there. Is what my boy said. My boy said they are so looked down upon using braid up there because you're shoulder to shoulder with people.
Yeah.
I've never been up there though.
No, me either.
I refuse to go stand beside. But it would. I mean, that makes for a cool video.
Yeah,
Like
it'd be fun.
you know, it's like the pier. It's so stressful when you hook a fish. You're like, how many googans do I have to go through to land this fish? You know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get into pier fishing at some point in our lives.
It's
but
pretty fun.
I feel like it's just so high stress.
Yeah, I like having it to myself. It's pretty peaceful then. But then again, I'm only going on like the pretty days. So
Do you think it's important to, I know you said something about getting out there early, but do you think it's important to fish more secluded parts of the beach where you're not going to have as many people swimming and stuff? Because the last thing you want to do is hook somebody.
yeah, I think if you're trying to fish in the summer, you're screwed.
Yeah, you kind of.
Unless if you don't go early, I mean, it's your own fault. I understand, you got kids and a wife that's telling you, well, we're going to go when the sun's out. Like, I get that.
Yeah.
You're only able to really go at lunchtime. I understand. But you got to be, honest with yourself and say, I'm not out here at the best time, so I can't get mad at other people for messing me up.
Right.
The fall would be better for surf fishing in that situation because there's not going to be as many people in the water. But,
Tools. So, like, a couple important tools that I think of when I forget sometimes is like scissors. Like, I need some scissors. Also, I forget my pliers a lot when I go surf fishing. I need some pliers. Sand flea rake. I like to always have a sand flea rake when I go out there. Is there any tools like that you sometimes forget and you're like, oh man, like I forgot this tool?
a nice towel.
Yeah.
Because my hands get so nasty messing with that shrimp and
Even the fish bites when it gets wet.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
yep. And of course everything you named, I have the same.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, I throw it in my box and kind of just forget about it, so I have it next time.
Yeah. I think it's important to have a box dedicated to that, just so you don't have to, every time you go out, switch to. I think it's important to have a big popper or like a chugger, something to throw on the top if you're seeing anything crazy, or even like a big shark. I mean, if you want to try to hook up on it, you need a big, loud bait. I think it's important to have a spoon to cast. I think it's important. Sometimes I forget to bring fluoro with me because you're using a lot of rigs tied straight to braid. But like on your casting stuff, you do need some fluoro, so I forget that sometimes because it's expensive and I don't want to dedicate it to my surfing box. But I mean, those are just some things that I forget. Sunscreen, definitely need to keep a sunscreen in your.
Yeah, that's a big one. Bug spray.
Bug spray. If it's not windy, you're gonna get ate up.
Yeah, those gnats are terrible.
Baits. What's 3 baits, or not necessarily 3, but what are some baits you try to bring with you out there? What's some of your most common?
I always try to get the fresh shrimp. That's my number one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the fish bites, you can get it in sand flea, you can get it in shrimp, different colors of each. There's another conversation is, do you need shrimp if you're fishing fish bites? I don't really know that answer yet. I put both on.
I put both on. I want it all.
Yeah, that shrimp, I feel like it doesn't last very long. So
No.
the fish bites, it is there for you to at least give you an opportunity in that time period between when you actually put the shrimp on and pull it in to rebait it. So.
Yeah, and it's like if you get a bite in the first minute or two, you know it probably was on shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a bite and you had it out there soaking for 5 or 10 minutes, you know you probably got it on fish bites.
Yeah.
I mean, just something to think about, you know. Do you tie your own rigs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've started doing that just because it's easy.
What kind of hooks?
I like circle hooks.
Okay.
And I'll buy the little floats. You can get them from Intracoastal. They come in all different colors. I can't tell you if there's a color that works better right now, but bright is the key, especially for pompano. A lot of people think pompano are kind of like reds, where they kind of sniff out everything, or black drum specifically, but pompano are sight fish.
Right.
So they see those bright beads and floats and everything, and they'd be more attracted to it. So
We got to look at a pompano like it's not probably just lethargically going on the bottom eating. You know, I mean, I know you said you found a bunch of shells in his stomach, didn't you?
yeah,
Which
ton of
is
them.
interesting to me, because it does mean that it's probably eating some off the bottom, doesn't it?
Yeah,
And they eat sand fleas, so they probably eat those those might be rolling. I mean, I just think when you look at the shape of it, it's not shaped like a drum. It's shaped more, not even like a tuna, but more almost like a mahi shape to it, with a forked tail, and it's flat. It's a flat fish, you know. So it's like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it'd be real lethargic moving or hanging around, moseying around eating. Seems like it's probably darting.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm just guessing, but
Yeah, I'd love to see what they look like in the water.
yeah.
You know, just a mass of them. Like, what do they do? Do they circle like drum, or do they kind of stay in a line and just move down the beach? I don't know.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
We never catch them simultaneously.
Not really. No, we don't.
They're always spread out. Then again, this is North Carolina, where this is not a big pompano place like it is in Florida. So who knows if we have the population or not that, for say, Florida does. I don't know.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah. But I'll use 15-pound flora for my rigs.
Okay.
And I've been thinking about actually making a video showing how I make them. Because
Yeah, you
it's
should.
pretty easy.
Yeah.
And
Dropper loops.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
About how long are you wanting your hook off of your main line?
something like 6 inches, I'd say.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
And you can always argue longer, shorter, whatever. It's all going to be depend on who you are. But I've noticed the longer the loop, the more times my hook's getting caught in the main line, and that gets annoying.
So do it about 6 inches or less.
Yeah.
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 Are you using whatever the lowest weight size you can use and stay contacted to the bottom?
Yeah. If I could choose surf conditions, it'd be less than 3 foot,
Okay.
and 2s and 3s are going to work in that.
Yeah, 2s and 3s. That's kind of where I want it too. I don't want to use much more than that.
I think the other day we'd use 4s, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we're definitely using 3s.
Yeah.
Some 4s.
Yeah. I know the day that we went that you didn't go, it was beautiful conditions, glass.
Really?
I mean, no wind, no swell. We didn't do nothing.
Wow.
So I think that you do need some wind.
Yeah.
I do think
Interesting.
that wind and wave action kind of churns up the bottom, turning those fish on.
Surf fishing is it is relaxing.
Oh yeah.
Like you get some contact with sand on your feet. You can feel the waves sometimes pushing up. I mean, you don't have the stress of a boat.
That's a big one, man. Is I'm not worried about my safety.
Yeah. I mean, really, you're on solid ground.
Yeah.
You know.
I love it. Yeah, I've had so much fun. I know that summertime is not the best surf fishing around here, so I'll probably hang it up.
Let's talk about that, and then we'll end it. So, what do you think the best times are to surf fish? Like, if I was going to focus on them 2 months out of the year, you can pick any 2 months. You could pick July and September or whatever you want. What would be the 2 months you would want to focus on surf fishing?
Well, May was really good for us.
May was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And probably the equivalent on the other end would be November.
Yeah. Probably get some reds.
October's probably good too, though.
Yeah, October is
We need
probably
to
good.
spend more time this year doing that because, but last year it was the same thing. We surf fished this time of year, and then once summer hit, we were done. But
Yeah.
we should spend more time fishing in the fall just so that we can base our information on that too.
Yeah, because there's differences.
Yeah.
You know?
I know when that mullet runs, there's a greater opportunity to catch those big reds and surf. And I want to do that.
That'd be sick, dude.
Yeah.
We need to do that.
Yeah, I want to bad. Yeah.
Did we cover everything? Most?
What
did we forget?
The what parts of the beach to fish?
What parts of the beach do you fish, Eric Williams?
Well, I talked a little bit about low tide, but
right.
Try to get the troughs as far as the distance from the beach. Vary it up. You got 3 rods, fish 3 different distances from the beach. Rips. Try to hit rips.
Explain that.
Rips are when you see the waves washing up on the beach, and then they all kind of like the water will congregate in one area and suck out in like a straight shot out in the ocean. And a lot of times it's in the deeper areas, like in between bars.
Trough.
Yep, in between bars. So it'll look like the waves aren't breaking in that area, and water is very fast flowing in that area. Fish
deeper,
that stuff.
Right?
Yeah,
deeper area.
Try that. I mean, cast up on the bar. Stick one on the bar. If you're not catching anything, throw one on the bar. Throw one on the edge of the bar. Vary it up. That's my best advice. Is because just because you catch a fish right now, the tide's constantly changing, and so these fish are constantly moving. So keep moving around until you find them.
I like it, dude. Thanks for coming and talking to me about something that you're an absolute expert about.
Yeah,
like
I don't know about that.
We're both extreme experts on surf fishing, guys, so make sure you listen to every single thing we say and live your life by it because it's important. But yes, I think we covered everything. Or, it's a simple, easy podcast about surf fishing because we don't know much more than the beginner knows. Yeah. All we know is we know what's worked for us in the past 2 years and what hadn't.
Yep, and I'll end with pyramid sinkers.
Pyramid sinkers, yeah.
Yeah, because you could buy the flat ones and they'd roll right down the beach, or the circular ones, and that wouldn't work.
Yeah, that's true. I just always gravitated towards those, so I've never used anything else. But you can clip them right on there too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, thanks for doing the podcast.
Yeah, man.
You guys don't forget to go over to Eric's page, check him out. Check his fishing videos out. You've got probably more surf fishing videos than I got. Go check out Eric's surf fishing videos. And you guys don't forget, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for everything. This channel just got monetized, so I'm super stoked about that. I think we got 1,200 and some followers now, dude. So yeah, you guys have been awesome. Some of you guys suck with your comments, but that's all right. I still love you. Thanks for supporting the channel. You guys have a great day and stay fishy, amigos.
Hunt for greatness.